When someone asks you to tell them about yourself, what do you say? Do you talk about your beliefs, opinions, and ideologies? Or do you tell them about the things you like to do and the people you love? Maybe you mention some things that you've accomplished in your life, or where you're from, or how old you are. Maybe you tell them about your favorite things. Maybe you draw a blank. If you're like most of us, you probably think something like, how am I supposed to encapsulate the entirety of who I am in a few sentences? Many people spend their entire life searching for themselves. But what does that really mean? Is it about finding new hobbies, interests, experiences, people, and values? Or is it about something deeper, beyond our personalities and egos? Our ego is the part of us that defines our personality, thoughts, and emotions. It's what we use to present ourselves to the world, and it's how we see ourselves. Our ego can also be the source of our insecurities, anxieties, and fears. If ego has taken over, we become more concerned with how others will perceive us, rather than with our own well-being. When we identify too closely with our ego, we create a separation between ourselves and the world around us. We see ourselves as separate from others, which is what causes our rampant feelings of isolation and loneliness. Our ego is the source of our individuality, but it can also be a barrier to true connection and understanding. Your true self exists under all the things that you believe define you. So, how do you find it? Do you just declare your withdrawal from having a persona?
I'm no longer interested in participating in being perceived, thank you.
Ego-dissolution is generally referred to as the process of letting go of our sense of self and merging with the world around us. It's about seeing ourselves as part of something greater than ourselves, whether that's nature, the universe, or consciousness itself. This experience can be achieved through meditation, the use of psychedelic substances, or the practice of mindfulness. In most people's cases, though, it is some sort of combination of them. What you will find underneath all of the noise of the ego is not nothingness. When we dissolve our ego, we can experience a profound sense of oneness with everything around us. We see the interconnectedness of all things and feel a deep sense of love and compassion for all beings. However, this experience can also be a little disorienting and unsettling.
Let us begin our practice today by finding a comfortable seated position on the ground or any comfortable surface. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. In and out. Allow yourself to come into this present state of awareness. You are here, in this moment, connecting with all that you are.
A lot of times when we let go of our ego, we can feel like we're losing a part of ourselves. So, that's cool and all, but how do we find a balance between our ego and ego dissolution? how do we incorporate a minimization of ego into our daily lives? In other words, how does one keep on peopling without a persona? The age-old question. Most of us don't have the opportunity to withdraw from society and live as a monk or hermit. And even if we did, it may not be what is optimal for our soul's growth. We have obligations and responsibilities that require us to interact with the world. That being said, you can't exactly go back to clean the kitchen after you realize that you are fundamentally all of existence in and of itself. I am by no means saying ego is the bad guy. You need to have an identity and sense of self-awareness in order to be able to not only go through life, but reflect on your choices and the path that you are on. This delicate balance is one that I am far from mastering, so be sure to take my words with a grain of salt. I believe the key is in recognizing that our ego is just one part of us and not allowing it to override the significance of our journey. We can use our ego as a tool for self-awareness and reflection, but not allow it to define us. I feel the greatest balance within myself when I am able to cultivate and sustain a practice of mindfulness and meditation. These practices can help us stay grounded in the present moment and connected to the world around us. We can still engage in our daily tasks and obligations, but with a sense of presence and awareness. A minimized ego, if you will. When all is taken into consideration, a balance between our ego and ego-dissolution is a personal journey that requires self-reflection and mindfulness. It's not going to be the same for everyone. We must recognize that our ego is just one part of us and not allow it to define us. We can cultivate ways that allow us to stay connected to the world around us. In doing so, we can live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, one that is grounded in a sense of connection and oneness. Rather than constantly being on the search for something that fulfills us, we can find that fulfillment deep within ourselves. I've come to realize that no matter how many things I acquire or experience or learn, I will never find that fulfillment outside of myself. At the end of the day, we should not allow our ego and its perceptions to override the significance of the journey itself. That's the whole reason that we're here, right?